Baltimore is a speedster. The Yankees replete with all-stars like Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez, and Hideki Matsui, but they've had to fill some holes so far this year as Laz Diaz prepares to call the balls and strikes. Time to play ball as Halladay opens with strike one.
Well, Jamie, as we watch this game progress, let's just count how many ground ball outs he gets. I think that if it's in a 27 outs, if he can get 13 of them, he's doing pretty good.
There's one on 2 pitches.
Either the strikeout or the ground out. Roy Halladay keeps the ball down better than anybody in the American League. Ball ricochets a little bit off Halladay, and Scudero makes a nice play coming in.
The number 2 hitter for the Yankees is the American League Player of the Week. Johnny Damon coming off a week in which he hit .419, 4 doubles in 7 games, had 5 home runs, 32 total bases. On Sunday in Baltimore, a game-winning 3-run home run. So the Yankees come into this matchup 5.5 behind the Blue Jays. They sit 3rd in the American League East. Here's your first-place team, Toronto.
Well, this is a statement game, too, in my opinion. I said possibly playoff-type atmosphere, and you've got it tonight.
There's a base hit down the line. Snyder over to get it quickly as Damon turns for second. Here's the throw in, and Damon is out. Joe Girardi out quickly, too.
Well, Damon, what he does best is put the ball on the ground hard, in play. Nice play by Snyder to pick the ball, turn around. Let's see if he's in there, though. Mike Riley at second base has got him out. Let's check out this angle here, Jamie. Does Johnny Damon's foot get in there before the tag's applied? It appeared to me that Damon was in there.
If so, consider it a break for the Blue Jays, but nothing new from Snyder, who has done that a few times already this year. Throwing out guys from left field who are trying to stretch singles into doubles. And that one means that Mark Teixeira comes up here with 2 out and nobody on. And check the numbers on Teixeira, a 198 average.
Oh, the home runs are there. 7 home runs.
Breaks his bat, pops it up, an easy play for Roland, and a 1-2-3 inning on 7 pitches for Roy Halladay. So he's finished in the first. Guess who's coming to take the ball next? He is 2-0 on the year, a 5.26 ERA, but no decisions in his last 4 outings. And over 3 years with the Blue Jays, went 38-26 with an ERA a shade under 4. He led the American League in strikeouts last year at 231, and combined with Roy Halladay, to win 38 games. His best year in the big leagues by far, and that landed him a huge contract with the Yankees.
No, he's a strikeout pitcher. He's got a great fastball, mid-90s, four-seamer. Well, usually, occasionally a two-seamer, but I felt last year that he pitched with confidence. Of course, the 18 wins that he had, but he really I think he's got himself back on track last year.
Well, let's look at the Blue Jays lineup with Marco Scutaro solid in the leadoff position. Aaron Hill right behind him, leading the major leagues in hits. In his career against the Yankees, Vernon Wells has 20 home runs. And you'll see the young man who made a fine play in left field batting ninth for the Jays, Travis Snyder. Ball one to Scutaro. Well, the crowd has sent a message.
Marco Scutaro said something to AJ there. Just kind of a playful banter between the two guys, knowing each other. Fastball in, kind of gave him a little look.
Here's a ground ball to short. Pena is there, and he throws out Scutaro. Ramiro Pena, a rookie, getting the nod tonight at short in place of the injured Derek Jeter.
Yeah, it looks like Jeter's got some sort of oblique strain in his rib cage, so Pena's going to get to start at short. A-Rod is back at third base for the New York Yankees. Robinson Cano at second. Teixeira at first base. The old Blue Jay Kevin Cash behind the dish. Johnny Damon in left.
Aaron Hill chops it foul. There's a man with 54 base hits this year. And right now he's riding a 7-game hit streak. In to face old teammate Burnett. One away, the 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball off the plate. And an interesting reaction from the crowd so far. They're applauding the balls, booing the strikes.
Yeah, it is very interesting. AJ went on the DL a couple times. He had the old doff of the cap that got a lot of publicity where he was mocking the fans after they were booing him. And you know, it sets up for great drama, doesn't it? I mean, he's playing for the so-called evil empire of the New York Yankees now, and he accepted all that money to leave Canada. So it makes for good television, and it's an excellent matchup.
Fouled back by Hill, 2-2. And I mentioned this during the pregame show. It was 8 years ago today. Burnett, then with the Marlins, threw a no-hitter against San Diego. He was a far different pitcher back then, though.
Well, he's always had phenomenal stuff.
The 2-2 breaking ball, line to right field, but right at Melky Cabrera. This was the day, May 12, 2001. Burnett walked 9 and managed to get the no-no.
Well, when you talk about pure stuff, Jamie, the velocity on the fastball, the depth and the bite on a breaking ball, I don't think that there's a better 1-2 combo that what A.J. Burnett has got in his package of pitches. His curveball just drops off the table, and that fastball can be at times touch 98 miles an hour. So he's been one of these guys that's been a can't miss. You know, why isn't this guy winning 15, 20 ball games every year?
The 1-0 pitch now to Rios, 2-0. Alex had himself a pretty good game on Sunday in Oakland, driving in 3 runs. He hit his 3rd home run of the year. Turned out to be the only run the Blue Jays needed in a 5-0 win. They came home from the West Coast with 3 victories and 2 losses. There's a strike. 2-1. Alex Rios, as his manager states, still a mechanical work in progress. But when he gets it together, he's capable of some big numbers.
Yeah, Alex Rios still in that 3rd spot. I think he's got the potential now to hit 30 home runs. Two and 2.
Kevin Cash throws the signs. Here's the pitch from Burnett, and it's hit out to center field for Gardner. So AJ, like Halliday, gets a 1-2-3 first inning, and we head to the second inning without a run. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Man up here in the second inning on Friday. His first pitch was hit out to left field. The first pitch he saw this year was a 3-run home run. What a way to come back. And the reception for A-Rod, not much better than the one that Burnett received. He faces Roy Halladay, who gets strike one. In his career against Halladay, A-Rod's a .283 hitter in 60 at-bats, but he's only gone deep once.
Well, I think a healthy Alex Rodriguez is absolutely huge in this New York Yankees lineup.
Little chopper out in front of the plate. Barajas calls off Halladay, and A-Rod is gone.
I believe Joe Girardi wants to downplay it a little bit and try to take some of the pressure off Alex Rodriguez, but they need him in this lineup hitting number 4. It helps take pressure off of Teixeira. Hopefully Teixeira can get some more fastballs in that third spot. And you know, arguably one of the best hitters of all time is back in your lineup. And I think Joe Girardi of the New York Yankees are really, they're still missing their catcher, still missing a right fielder, but the pieces are starting to come together for him. And I think that's why that this is, in my opinion, a statement series for the Blue Jays.
Hideki Matsui is the next man up. He looks at strike one, and as Ken Singleton told us before the game, he works with the New York Yankees television broadcast. Before A-Rod had come back, Mark Teixeira was seeing a lot of junk from some of the pitchers around the American League.
Well, they were using Matsui, they were using Matsui at some in the cleanup spot. They were using Nick Swisher. So with A-Rod in there, they're going to, you know, you would think that they would see a lot more fastballs in that third spot. You wouldn't want to pitch around Teixeira to get to A-Rod. You know, Jeter's not in there tonight because of this oblique thing, but how about the first 4 guys in a lineup when you can pencil in Johnny Damon, Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira, and Alex Rodriguez.
And you did the math before the game. Their salaries combined are over $80 million.
$87 million for 4 players.
Here's a bouncer to third. Roland charges the ball and throws out Matsui.
Well, that's a typical out that you'll see from Roy Halladay. A batter maybe expecting the ball in, or that cutter that comes inside, and next thing you know, he throws that 2-seamer away. Matsui just pulling off a little bit, pounding the ball on the ground, easy out.
So Robinson Cano now the second baseman. In to face Halladay. I saw the same thing you did before the game. I passed by the Blue Jay clubhouse, looked in. It was empty because all the regular players were out taking batting practice. Halladay was in a chair staring into his locker in an empty, silent room.
Yeah, the players in the clubhouse would call that game-faced.
He was outstanding in his last start. That was Wednesday in Anaheim. Rarely challenged in the ball game. Went 8 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits. The Jays provided all kinds of support, winning 13-1. And notice the numbers against the Yankees, 15-5. He's not intimidated by this team at all.
Oh, not at all. I don't think that Halladay's intimidated by anybody. You know, I haven't been around. I've been around Doc some, but of late I haven't been around him. But that was, his focus is incredible. I don't know whether he was gearing up thinking that this was an extra special game or not, but tell you what, when I looked in his eyes today, he had the eye of a tiger. He was wanting to do some business on the Yankees tonight.
1-2 on Robinson Cano. Here's the pitch. It's on the ground, taken by Overbay. Halladay races to the bag, and a 1-2-3 second inning. Fletcher tonight. What a good looking crowd it is here at Rogers Center. They're expecting over 40,000. And this one has been promoted for some time, ever since we discovered that AJ would be facing off against Roy Halladay. Burnett had an easy first, getting the order. And now Vernon Wells rolls the first one to second baseman Cano. So the pitcher's duel is on here.
And you're seeing a lot of, on both sides, Yankees and the Blue Jays, swinging a lot of first pitches. To be honest with you, I thought the Blue Jays may try to work the count a little bit more off A.J. Burnett, knowing that his history of inflated pitch counts, he's a power pitcher. You know, maybe try to work the count a bit, but I think the Blue Jay hitters are obviously got their offense is great. They're jumping on that first pitch.
You know, when A.J. Burnett first came to the Blue Jays in 2006, he was well known as a guy who wanted to throw it right by you, pile up the strikeouts, and as you noted, that often means piling up the pitches. And he seemed to learn a few things from Roy Halladay. Among those things, it's okay to be a pitcher who pitches to contact. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think Doc has developed into more of a pitch to contact guy. He will strike out guys and has the ability to strike you out with the big breaking ball, but his fastball is a pitch to contact fastball, where A.J. Burnett has 2 strikeout pitches, the the blow you away four-seam fastball at 95 and the big yellow hammer breaking ball that he can punch you out on.
3-0 pitch taken high and deep in foul ground by Adam Lynn.
And a lot of the power pitchers, I remember when I would be working with younger players as they came up, I would always say, you don't strike the guy out on the first pitch. You've got to get to 2 strikes before you can punch him out. Why not pitch to contact the first couple pitches?
3-2. Boy, Linda's having a terrific year. He leads all designated hitters in runs scored, in hits, in doubles, and maybe more importantly in RBIs with 30. He has 12 more RBIs than the next best DH in the American League, and he's just drawn a walk against AJ. Play Sportsnet.ca's Game in the Game while watching this one for a chance to win a 52-inch Sharp Aquis LCD TV. Here's how you do it. Go right now to Sportsnet.ca/baseball game and launch it. Well, if there's a man in this Blue Jay lineup that A.J. Burnett has not had a problem with, he's at the plate now. Scott Rowland is a career 0 for 18 against Burnett. He seemed to get the better of Rowland in those years that both played in the National League.
Well, that's what you got to like about manager Cito Gaston too, Jamie, is some managers will see that matchup and say, 0 for 18, why not put somebody else in there? If you could kind of sum up Cito Gaston's style in like one phrase would be, let the players play.
Right. Because the man at the plate is the everyday third baseman.
Let him play.
He plays every day.
Don't overmanage. Don't get too caught up in these numbers. Let him play. Maybe that one base hit that he gets is the 2-run home run in the second inning. I mean, he still may end up being just 1 for 20, but it could be a big one.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled away, a ball and 2 strikes.
But the Jays hitters are being very aggressive early in the count. I mean, I'll get back to this point of, well, should we be aggressive or should we wait them out? And there's the old adage too, when you're facing a great pitcher or a guy that's got great stuff like A.J. Burnett, is that you want to try to get to him early and knock him out of the game early and don't let him get set in some sort of rhythm. So maybe the Jays hitters are taking that type of philosophy right now, is trying to get to him early.
And to try and wait out Burnett would really fly in the face of Cito Gaston's philosophy.
Well, his style is don't let the fastball pass. If you see that first pitch heater right down the middle, let her fly.
1-2, 1 away, Lind at first. Here's the pitch on the ground. And Rodriguez drops it, tries to shovel the ball to second. A broken play, and Rowland is safe at first.
Well, when you play third base, you've got the green light to try to get everything that you can, and A-Rod does the right choice in trying to field this baseball, but gets kind of a tricky hop, a short hop that's right in front of him, and he's not able to pick it cleanly, and the Jays have got something going here in the second.
An error charged to Rodriguez. Two on, 1 out, and Overbay is the hitter. The Yankees' record this year is not good when they commit an error in the ballgame. One and 0 against Overbay. He flies it toward left center field. Damon is over, and Lynn tags from second. So Overbay flies out, and there are 2 away.
Well, Adam Lynn knows his scouting report. Johnny Damon in left field has never been known for his arm strength. So with a fly ball to left field, Adam Lynn's tagging and going ahead and moving to third base with 2 outs. Of course, the player of the week in the American League with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs this week for Johnny Damon. Center fielder for years, moved to left field this year in New York.
Here's Rod Barajas now. 2 gone, 2 on. Man at third is Adam Lind. And rolling at first, courtesy of the error by Rodriguez. And a roller to second. Pena picks it up, gets the force, and that's it. The Blue Jays leave 2 here in the bottom of the second inning. Off to the third, no score. (13-4) when they don't commit one, 2-12 when they do. So we'll just throw that in your direction. Mark it down, keep it in mind, and we'll see how things go here tonight. It's the Jays and the Yankees on Rogers Sportsnet.
Bodes well for the Jays in this 3-game playoff between the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees.
This feels like a playoff game, doesn't it, Darren?
Yes. I'm sticking to my statement series. That's all it is. It's a statement.
Bottom 3 of the Yankees order coming up. Melky Cabrera, the first among them. He'll be followed by Kevin Cash and then Ramiro Pena.
You can argue when you look at this schedule to this point, you can argue that it's been a bit of soft serve ice cream, really.
That's a fair ball. And Halliday does the right thing, getting over quickly. And Cabrera's gone.
This is the first, I think, legit contender that they have faced. I mean, you can say, well, Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, okay, they're a good team, but going into this season, in the 09 season, everyone thought with all the money that the Yankees spent, they were going to be the top contender in the American League East.
But they're 15-16. They're a game under 500, sitting third.
They're the most storied franchise, maybe in all sports franchises. It's always a big thing when you're playing the Yankees. And the Toronto Blue Jays really want to just tell that organization, the Yankee organization, say, hey, we're on top now, and you're going to stay down there by us putting a spanking on you for 2 out of 3.
But they have Kevin Cash catching. I mean, my point is, yeah, they face some good teams already, the Blue Jays have. Everyone's saying that the season starts now. They've beaten the Angels. Had trouble with the Kansas City Royals, who are off to a good start.
Right.
They've beaten some decent teams to this point.
But in the world of baseball,
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
On the outsider looking in.
Wave and a miss. Kevin Cash goes down swinging in his first game as a Yankee. And he's in because of injuries to not only Jorge Posada, but the other backup, Jose Molina. So the two catchers now for the Yankees are Cash and Francisco Cervelli.
And don't underestimate the fact that Jorge Posada's not in this lineup. And he wasn't in the lineup much last year either. But in my opinion, an unsung hero for the kind of Torrey dynasty that was established when he was the manager. A guy that I always felt when I was catching was one of the toughest outs in their lineup.
Here is Ramiro Pena, who's just a baby in big league terms. Made his first big league start on the 14th of April in Tampa Bay. Ranked by Baseball America as the Yankees' best defensive infielder in their minor league system. Aaron Hill goes to his right, throws out Pena, and gets Roy Halladay another 1-2-3 inning. And they are still actually starting to warm the seats here at Rogers Center. Among them in attendance, the great one's dad. There's Walter Gretzky, a guest of TD Canada Trust. He's down in the comfort zone tonight. His son wasn't a bad ball player. And he's watching Travis Snider face an old teammate in A.J. Burnett. So far, so good in terms of the starting pitching tonight. Roy Halladay has faced 9 hitters, given up a single to Johnny Damon, though he was thrown out by Snider. And AJ has yet to give up a base hit in this game. 0-2 on Snider, who got off to a very good start. In the early going, both he and Adam Lind seem to be carrying the team offensively, but he hasn't hit a home run since the middle of April. 2-strike pitch and a swing and a miss. Snider goes quickly, and AJ has his first strikeout of the game.
Well, that was wicked right there. Blew him up on a couple fastballs, and then the last pitch is this nasty curveball that he's able to bury down. Really had no chance. Just a great combination of the mid-90s four-seamer with a big overhand curveball. Mechanical difficulties for A.J. Burnett.
Same kind of problems that Marco Scutaro had in Oakland.
I didn't see that.
Oh, that was funny. And here is Marco, who took the first pitch inside and then grinned back at Burnett when he came up in the first inning. Down and in is the first pitch. Scutaro this year leading the big leagues in walks. He's third in the majors with 32 runs scored. Has really played this role of leadoff man quite well.
Absolutely. I believe he's been the catalyst for this whole offense, this early start that's been so great for the Toronto Blue Jays batters.
1-1 to Scudero. And there's that good looking breaking ball in for strike 2.
I wouldn't say, would you say that Marco Scudero is your typical leadoff hitter?
No, because I don't think he steals the bases.
Doesn't steal the bases. I mean, you wouldn't. Sometimes I think some managers would say, I don't know if this guy's a leadoff hitter, but Cito sees leadoff in him, and it's been great. Takes a lot of pitches, works the count, good contact. I think that he hits well with runners in scoring position too.
He's 2-2 here against Burnett. AJ's been a beast of the East, going 28-8 against American League East teams in his career. And he got off to a very good start with the Yankees, winning his first 2. But in his last 4 starts, does not have a decision. Has seen his ERA bloat to 6.66. He's allowed 5 home runs, and opponents are hitting .281.
Well, he had that one bad start where he was in Boston on the 25th of April. Ball away. He only pitched 5 innings, but he gave up 8 earnings. That really hurt his ERA.
One away in the inning, and it's a full count to Scudero. That's rolled out toward Burnett. Cash calls him off, and Scudero, despite the head-first dive, is out. Marco doing anything he can to get on base.
That's a nice play by Kevin Cash. He doesn't rush himself. He plants, pivots, and makes a good throw. Good stretch by Teixeira at first base too. But look at Marco Scudero laying it out. He's out, but nice effort.
And so there are 2 away as Aaron Hill comes back. He lined out to right field his first time up. Sends this one deep to center field, but playable for Gardner. And AJ follows Roy Halladay's 1-2-3 with one of his own. We're through 3 here in Toronto. Still a scoreless game. Have decided to attend, and our thanks to those of you watching tonight on Rogers Sportsnet. We'd like to send a happy birthday out to Robert Hallsworth, watching tonight in Newmarket, Ontario, north of Toronto, as well as a belated 80th birthday wish to Clayton Miller in Paris, Ontario. Good game to tune into. It's Halladay against Burnett. 1 hit for the Yankees, none for the Blue Jays to this point. And a strike thrown to Brett Gardner, the leadoff man.
Well, neither pitcher has blinked. In the first 3 innings, Jamie, no one has fallen apart where you've walked a few guys or given up a big hit. Both guys are coming out and throwing strikes, really pounding the strike zone.
Roy Halladay refused all interviews leading up to this start. He did not want to get into a he said, she said kind of deal. As he gets a ground ball and covers the base. He's done that 3 times tonight.
Now that's the 7th ground ball out early in this ball game. Like I said with the scouting report, Doc's going to record a majority of his outs on the ground.
But Halladay, as you know, Darren, does not like to draw attention to himself, and he simply felt that it wouldn't be right to start talking up this game as a battle against A.J. Burnett. And so many people say that he was the mentor to Burnett over the last 3 years. Well, Halladay admits he was actually intimidated when A.J. first came to the Jays. As he faces Johnny Damon here, he felt threatened by him because, not surprisingly, Burnett's stuff is so good. Well, and that might surprise you.
Well, this whole teacher-mentor thing, you know, A.J. Burnett's older than Doc, too. Typically, when you think of teacher-mentor, you think about the old Methuselah, and you climb the mountain and you ask the guy, well, what's the key to success in the big leagues? You know, Doc's younger than him. So I wasn't, in my opinion, this is how I see it. I think A.J. Burnett watched Halladay. They were kind of buddies, but A.J. Burnett learned a lot from Doc by just watching. Watching how he went about his business, not only when he pitched, but more importantly, what he did on his days off and how he prepared for each start on those 4 days that nothing's going on. Some guys just goof off. Doc doesn't. Doc's locked in on video. Doc's locked in on his workout, and I think that's what rubbed off on A.J. Burnett.
3-1 to Damon. And a leaping catch by Aaron Hill. Played that one perfectly.
Now here's an out that's not recorded on the ground. Cutter inside. Aaron Hill cheating that way too. As a second baseman, you're looking in at the signs and you're seeing that Halladay's going to throw that cutter inside, knowing that Johnny Damon will pull that pitch, cheats a little bit more to that side, positioning himself well. Aaron Hill's turned out to be a very good second baseman.
Mark Teixeira's a good hitter. He just wouldn't know it by his start with the Yankees, hitting a .196. He does have 7 home runs, so the power is there. But so much is expected of Teixeira, who signed an 8-year contract for $180 million in the offseason.
His first 100 bats just haven't been that good for the Yankees. I think this is the first time this guy's really struck.
He falls behind here 0-2.
But Teixeira is pure production. You can't argue with this guy's numbers, and as time goes on, I think that he's going to have a fine year for the Yankees.
0-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Say goodnight, Mr. Teixeira. Boy, Halladay is just mowing him down now. He's retired his last 10 in a row. And when we come back, Rios leads off for the Blue Jays. A scoreless game so far. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. and Thursday. So be sure to join us as Alex Rios swings and hits the first one over toward the wall in left field. He heads for second, and Rios leads off against Burnett with a double. The Jays get their first hit in this game, and it's extra bases.
That's first pitch fastball. Jay hitters have been chasing this first one pretty much all night in this early part of the game. This ball's up, and Rios just tomahawks it. High pitch. You'd think that, you know, you'd have a hard time catching up to it, but Rios is on top of it for a double.
And so here's Vernon Wells. Vernon's numbers with runners in scoring position, and we've touched on this the last week or so, are not flattering at all. Just a 191 average. Even worse when there are less than 2 outs, hitting a .154.
Well, just get him hot, and then if they're scoring 6 runs a ball game, then they might score 8 runs a ball game. He's a big part of this offense, and I think that he'll get going. There's a time to drive in a run right now, and a big game would be right here.
This is an interesting battery tonight, Darren, because Kevin Cash, who was signed as a minor league free agent in the offseason, likely doesn't have a whole lot of time beyond spring training working with Burnett.
Yeah, it is a dynamic that's a bit interesting, especially with as hard as this guy throws his breaking ball. As a former catcher, you're just not quite sure what to expect when the ball's in the dirt. You don't want one to get away from you. Right there.
Swing and a miss, and Rios stays put at second.
I would think that he would be tough to catch because of that breaking ball, Jamie. He throws a lot of them, and it's such a hard breaking ball, and a lot of them he's trying to bury into the dirt. And as a catcher, anytime there's a lot of balls in the dirt, it doesn't make for a fun night. And
the 1-1 swung on and missed, and that's nasty.
Yeah, that was a little shorter one. I've noticed A.J. Burnett's dropped his arm angle just a hair, and he's shortened up his breaking ball. Most of the time you see him throw this kind of 12-6, but this little hybrid curve here where he dropped down and was a little less break, almost like a slurve. Big pitch here, though, 1-2.
That turns Vernon around, 2-2, and these two have kept in touch since Burnett left for New York. They frequently speak by way of text message.
Well, you think they asked him, what would you throw me 2-2 with nobody out and a man on second base? I don't think so.
Not at all.
I think as a hitter here, you're just trying to protect the plate. You'd love to be able to hit something to the right side to move Alex Rios to third, but typically with 2 strikes on you as a batter, all bets are off. You've just got to basically put the ball in play, forget your situational hitting, and try to hit it hard someplace. Very tough to protect against a guy like Burnett because he could blow you up with the fastball or this really tight breaking ball. And there's the heater in. Vernon Wells is a very good breaking ball hitter. A lot of people don't know that. You think 4th place hitter, Vernon Wells, he's all over the fastball, but a very good off-speed hitter.
Rios on second with a leadoff double.
Let's see what pitch they go to. You can go fastball in or this breaking ball. Let's see what AJ wants to do. He's setting up inside.
3-2. Up high, ball 4. First and second for the Jays. His first 3 starts went quite well. Last 3, not so much.
Well, you throw that Boston one in there where he gave up 8 earnings in the 4th and 5th inning of that ball game and only lasted 5.
Brings up Adam Lind, and his numbers are simply exceptional with runners in scoring position. A .386 average, He faces AJ here. 2 on, nobody out. Fastball for strike 1. In fact, Lynn's 17 hits with runners in scoring position, time for first in the major leagues with Evan Longoria of Tampa Bay. Behind in the count, 0-1. And that's low. 1-1. That's got to be a tough pitch to lay off.
Yeah. Kind of a backdoor curveball that AJ Burnett's trying to bring around the outside part of the plate. But you've got to be impressed with Adam Lynn, the way he's maturing as a hitter. Like you've mentioned, getting all those base knocks with ducks on the pond. In my opinion, it really is the true measure of a big league hitter, is not hitting 300 with no one's on base, but how well do you do when it's time to get the big knock and drive in the run.
Lessons learned from Cito and Gene Tennis. And Adams putting them to work now. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Down at the knees. 3 balls and a strike. AJ's in danger of loading him up here with nobody out.
Well, this is the first little few batters here where AJ looks a bit rattled. When things start going bad for AJ, it's a lot of pitches and missing the strike zone by a lot. Not just a little bit, but pulling the ball down and in, breaking ball in the dirt, fastball, you know, over the guy's head, and we've seen that in this at bat. That
ball was foul, and that was ball 4.
That was ball 4. And when a pitcher has a tendency when he's all jazzed up is that he pulls the ball down and will hold on to it a little bit long, and you'll see AJ Burnett with that good arm miss with a lot of fastballs inside to lefties, away to righties.
Here comes the payoff then to Lynn. Off the plate, and he walked him. He loses Lynn and loads up the bases with nobody out. Tried to backdoor that breaking ball.
Well, it was a gutsy pitch by Burnett. Tried to throw the same pitch 1-1 to Adam Lynn, and then 3-2 comes back with it. Felt like he had made a good pitch. It does stay on the outside part of the plate and doesn't come around. Good job by Laz Diaz to stay on it. But here we go, Jamie. Big inning right here if the Jays can tack on a few.
Strike 1 to Roland, who reached on an error in the second inning, but comes into this game 0 for 18 in his career against Burnett. There's Lind at first base. Wells up at second. Alex Rios stands at third. Bases loaded. Nobody out. The 0-1 pitch on the way from Burnett. And he misses inside.
Well, he's a strikeout pitcher, and if there's a time that you would need the strikeout, it would be right now. You'd love to be able, as a pitcher, to punch out Roland here, get to 1 out, and then bring up Lyle Overbay and try to induce a double play. But with nobody out here and bases loaded, this is the batter that you'd like to strike out. You don't want him to put the ball in play at all.
1-1, and now a ball and 2.
With some guys, you would, with bases loaded, nobody out, as a catcher, you would go out to the mound and say, well, let's just minimize our damage. It's not that they're going to get some, but let's just keep it under 1 or under 2 if we can. With a guy like AJ Burnett that has the opportunity and the stuff to be able to punch out 3 guys in a row, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit when you're calling a game 2. He's got to go for the strikeout here, probably a breaking ball. And he went for the fastball in and missed. That fastball should have been inside, and he missed that pitch right down the middle. Scotty Rowland would probably love to have that one back, but that's not where the location needed to be for him. I think it's just a matter of time here. He's got to, at some point, he's going to go with this strikeout breaking ball right now, I believe, and try to put him away.
There's the breaking ball, and that's a base hit down the line. Rios is in to score. Here comes Wells. Off to second goes Rowland, and it's 2-0 for the Blue Jays.
A good piece of hitting by Scott Rowland. Fouled off the fastball and got the breaking ball. Able to place it down the line, hit it hard enough to get it past A-Rod. Couple runs in. Advantage to the Blue Jays early on here.
Dave Island is New York's pitching coach. He's out for a quick chat. Still no one out here in the fourth inning. The Blue Jays have gone double, walk, walk, and now double. Rowland's 9th two-bagger of the year. RBIs number 18 and 19. Second and third, first base is open. Lyle Overbay is the hitter.
Well, going back to Rowland's at bat, he did. I think he set up A.J. Burnett there. After fouling off that fastball, he knows as a veteran player, Jamie, that he's going to go for the punch out. He's going to try to strike me out right here. I'm looking breaking ball. I'm just gambling 1 and 2. He's giving me the hammer, and I'm looking for it and just spitting on the fastball. He got it and hit a big double.
That's a veteran move. That's fouled away. 0-2 on Overbay now.
I know it was hung a bit, but a lot of veteran players in big situations will look for one certain pitch and just gamble and hope that you get it, and if you get it, he's going to bust it.
Here's the 0-2 breaking ball, and Overbay goes. So there's your strikeout pitch, and that's 1 out. You know, we've known this about AJ for the 3 years he pitched here, but with the bite on that breaking ball, Adam Lind has to be aware of things over at third base.
Yeah, he could get away. No question. He could throw it 50 feet and bounce over Cash's head.
1 down, Rod Barajas up. He goes after the first one, a foul tip. Rod grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. The Blue Jays here in the fourth inning, first to hit the board on a 2-run double by Rowland. 2 men in scoring position for Barajas, who would love to keep the line moving here against AJ. Travis Snyder's on deck for the Jays. He was handled easily by Burnett, striking out in the third. And now Burnett sets on the 1-1 pitch, and it's fouled back.
Now Rod Barajas is kind of staring up, got that fastball down where he likes it, and missed it. Now you're in that same count now. There's 1 and 2, and it's a pitcher's count where you can do a wide assortment of things to you, with buzzing you with the fastball in or throwing that breaking ball away. You really, as a hitter, need to have up the plate and just pick a half and guess and see if it's going to be in that spot.
And that one sneaks away, but Lind is going nowhere. Didn't roll far enough behind Kevin Cash.
Well, you made a good point, Jamie, about Kevin Cash going to the mound and a new guy behind the plate. Burnett's not easy to catch. When you've got this hammer that goes down and bites as hard as it does, he's got the opportunity to throw it for a strike at any time, but when he wants to bury it, it's hits it 58 feet. And it's a hard one, too. And when it's a big breaking ball like that, it hits and wants to pop up high as opposed to staying low.
As a catcher, if you know that he's got that breaking ball that he can throw in the dirt at any time, and there is a man at third, are you more apt to call more fastballs?
Well, at times you're thinking of preservation and just putting down a bunch of ones, but you can't. You've got to pitch to the hitter, and you've got to use the pitcher's strength, and it can be a bit shaky.
Here's the 2-2. Ripped and foul, and oh my goodness, Adam Lind is thankful to be alive.
That's a fastball inside, and Barajas spins on it. Look at this.
Whoa.
Get down. That was heading right for his coconut.
He actually got a high five from Nick Leyva over there, coaching third.
Yeah, Nick Leyva saying, thank goodness that was you. I don't know if I would have got out of the way of that one.
So A.J. tries again on 2-2. And Barajas heads this one toward right field, falling quickly, but Cabrera makes the catch on the run, and now Lynn tags. He's coming home, and he scores. Kevin Cash can't pick up the baseball. It's 3-0 for Toronto.
Well, nice job by Nick Leyva and Adam Lind at third base. This ball is a questionable ball to the outfield on, well, do I send him or do I keep him there? And Adam Lind did a little hesitation move. The throw beats him, but it short hops Kevin Cash, and Cash is unable to come up with it, and Barajas is like, yes.
He drives in his 19th run of the year. And Rolen on the play moves up to third. So here is Travis Snider, and he looks at a curveball for strike one.
And another point on that sac fly is that it's a left-handed right fielder, and he had to kind of go across and have to catch that ball and throw across his body. It's a little tougher play for him trying to cover the right center gap and then coming home with the ball.
AJ's 29th pitch of the inning is a ball on the outside, so it's 1-1. They have made him work here in the fourth inning. 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 runs, 67 pitches in total for Burnett. Runs it in, and it's fouled away by Snider. And part of the Blue Jays game plan, quite obviously, Darren, is trying to get to the bullpen as quickly as possible. The Yankees bullpen this year, for the most part, with Mariano Rivera as the exception, has been awful.
They lost Bruni. Marti, that they picked up in a trade from Pittsburgh Pirates, is not available. He's hurt.
2-strike pitch, a swing and a miss, and Snider strikes out for the second time tonight. But the Blue Jays get 3 in the fourth and lead AJ. as he comes in, ready to bat against Roy Halladay. 3-0 Toronto, coast to coast on Sportsnet. We are glad you've joined us tonight. It's quite an atmosphere here as A-Rod fouls it back.
Well, you know you're a superstar is when you get booed soundly by visiting crowds.
I think there's more of a reason this year, though, to boo Alex Rodriguez, for obvious reasons, in fact. He's had a tough off season. Accused at first in a story by Sports Illustrated of using steroids during his years with the Texas Rangers, and then he admitted to it a few days afterward. He rolls that one to third, picked up by Rowland. Kind of funny, he comes into this game in particular as a bit of an afterthought because of the Halladay-Burnett matchup.
Yeah, a lot of telecasts you'd be talking about him exclusively, with him coming back on Friday, hitting that 3-run home run, and what he means to the New York Yankees lineup, him healthy.
And frankly, Darren, Manny Ramirez has really done A-Rod some favors by doing what he did and really drawing some of the attention away from Rodriguez. Sure. As Hideki Matsui, normally the DH, is now out of the ball game, and Nick Swisher comes off the bench. He will pinch hit now for Matsui.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on there, whether it's a injury or not. We'll have to wait and see. But here's Nick Swisher, a big pickup by the Yankees. You can see that his numbers: 270, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs.
Certainly something has to be amiss with Matsui.
Sure.
And we'll try and get some information on that if we can.
Swisher's a fun player to watch. He looks like a guy that really has a lot of fun playing the game.
Certainly does. He's got 8 home runs in 30 games this year. Really caught fire with the Yankees early on, posting some very good numbers. They've tailed off a little bit. And he drew the ire of his old manager in Chicago, Ozzie Guillen, by 2 weeks into the season, saying that Joe Girardi was the best manager he'd ever played for. 0-2.
Yeah, it's kind of like breaking up with a girlfriend, and then 3 weeks later, everyone hears you saying, you know what, this new girlfriend, she's the best girlfriend I've ever had.
True enough. One ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Halladay strikes him out.
What do you think Swisher's thinking when Joe Girardi goes, hey, Matsui's hurt, you got to go up there and hit off Halladay?
Me?
Well, it looked like this fastball away that he just wasn't quite ready for the heat. That ball was by him. Halladay is no walk in the park, even when you've completely stretched and watched video and prepared for 4 hours to face him. Well, let alone just getting the call 5 minutes before.
Here's Overbay, and he says, don't worry about it, Doc, I'll take it this time. And now Halladay has faced the minimum 15 batters so far. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games every week live on your computer. For details, please visit BlueJays.com, where baseball is always on. Tonight at Rogers Center, a good crowd watching the Yankees and the Blue Jays. This is Jamie Campbell with Darren Fletcher. We'd like to send out our best tonight to the family of Eileen Murray in St. John's, Newfoundland. Eileen never missed a Roy Halladay start and passed away on Saturday at the age of 78. Wouldn't she love this one? As Halladay has needed just 45 pitches to get through 5 innings. And Marco Scutaro tags the ball to center field. Gardner backs up and makes the play, so Scudaro's gone with a first out here in the bottom half of the 5th.
Well, if you're going to compare and contrast Roy Halladay with A.J. Burnett, I mean, Halladay really pitch to contact fastball, doesn't miss his spots very often with this heater, always lives on the corners. A.J. Burnett, fastball, power pitcher, 95, can get away with missing down the middle of the strike zone because he throws so hard. And you've seen that tonight, where you've seen him miss location now and again, and in that 4th inning missed a few times, and the Jays hitters made him pay.
Very similar in many ways, very different in many ways.
Yeah, different in the fact that A.J. Burnett pitches a little bit more to the heart of the strike zone.
Burnett might throw 40% four-seam fastballs. You'll never see one from Halladay.
Nothing is straight.
Aaron Hill now 0 for 2. The major league's hits leader. And this one headed for center field. It dumps in for a base hit. So Aaron then stretches his hit streak now to 8 games. Give him 55 hits on the year. And you're not the only one shaking your head when facing Hill, Mr. Burnett.
Well, he makes a pretty good pitch on the outside part of the plate, but what Aaron Hill is doing so well is that when he doesn't hit the ball good, whether on this one here was off the end of the bat or he gets jammed a bit, is that he's staying level through the hitting area. And as a hitter, if you can stay level, even on the pitches that you don't quite center up perfectly, you give yourself a chance to get a base hit. Too many times guys have this uppercut with their swing, and if they just don't hit it perfect, it's just an easy pop-up. Aaron Hill staying on top, compact swing, head is always down.
I can update you now on the injury to Hideki Matsui. He's out of the ball game with a tight right hamstring, replaced by Nick Swisher. Here's a chopper down the line and foul by Rios. We know this much about the Yankees, Darren. They're old. Derek Jeter's 34, Johnny Damon 35. A-Rod's going to be 34 in the middle of July. Matsui himself is 34 years of age.
I don't know what the numbers are. I know last year they were the oldest team in Major League Baseball, and they've added a few here or there from last year. So, you know, it's a good point.
To right field, Cabrera racing over as the ball falls quickly, but it's into his glove, and that's the second out.
But when I think back of all those great teams that Joe Torre had with the Yankees, older teams, veteran players, high price free agents, you know, and Brian Cashman a couple years ago says, well, we're going to build this organization now from within. We're going to bring up some younger arms, and they have. But yet this winter, they just go out and just slap down the Benjamins and fire out what, close to $400 million.
I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah. Well, when you got the new ballpark and that huge revenue generating machine that they have in New York, you've got the money to slap down to these guys.
Rebuilding just hasn't been in the vocabulary of the Yankees front office since about the mid-70s.
You just can't rebuild in New York. It's unacceptable. The fans in New York City want a winner every year, and last year was the first time that they didn't make the playoffs in 13 years. Think about that. 13 years without going to or 13 years straight going to the playoffs.
In this division.
It was quite a run.
26 World Series championships, but none since 2000. They're leaning on people like AJ to fix that as he checks Hill for the second time.
Now Burnett keeping an eye on Aaron Hill with 2 outs. Hill's got enough speed to steal second and put himself in scoring position for Vernon. Shortens his lead up a little bit.
Here's a grounder to short. Pena handles it, gets it to second for the force, and the Blue Jays leave one. 5 innings complete here in Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 3, the Yankees no score. Time to kick off the 6th inning here at Rogers Center in Toronto. And so far, Roy Halladay has bettered A.J. Burnett, both in the number of pitches thrown, hits given up, and more importantly on the scoreboard. 3-0 for Toronto as we begin the 6th inning with Melky Cabrera, the right fielder. With 1 out in the 1st inning, Halladay allowed a base hit to left by Johnny Damon. Damon tried to stretch a single into a double, as that's popped up and out of play, but was thrown out by Travis Snyder. And so here in the 6th inning, Halladay has faced the minimum 15 hitters. He's been perfect since that Damon hit in the 1st inning. You said he was locked in before this game, Darren. You weren't kidding.
Well, it's classic Doc, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, really, the ground ball outs, mixing in a strikeout here or there. Really just a methodical, workman-like effort every time out. And I really think a bargain at $30 million over the next 2 years. A bargain. Two and two on Cabrera. Now a full count. Well, you see how Doc just doesn't give in. He just lives on the corners with that two-seamer away, trying to nibble away, cutting the ball in. And 3-2 here as a hitter. You have no idea what's coming. He can throw you a fastball, or you can throw you this little cutter in, like Barajas just called, cutter away, backdoor it. He waits for the ball to come down, hurries to throw to first, and gets Cabrera by a step. Those often go for infield singles, but it just didn't bounce high enough for Cabrera. Well, Doc looked like a middle infielder there, how he was able to catch it and make a good exchange into his throwing hand. Watch this, kind of a quick get rid of it like you're turning two. Who says pitchers aren't athletes? Look at that play. He's got a right to be exhausted tonight. He's been covering first so many times, fielding bouncing balls. And he faces Kevin Cash now, who struck out in the 3rd. Cash in his first game with the Yankees after injuries to Posada and Jose Molina have forced the Yankees to go out and find people to catch the baseball. And so he's trying to run the table, Mr. Cash, on the American League.
as that's up high. He's played for 4 of the 5 teams in the American League East, with Baltimore being the exception.
No, he's a draft choice by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yep. Spent the last couple of years with Boston, catching, for the most part, Tim Wakefield's knuckleball. A handful of games with Tampa Bay prior to that, and then started out his big league career right here in Toronto. 1-2. And he gets under this one, popping it up. In come the 4 infielders, and Scutaro says, "I'll take it."
Well, kind of a moral victory for the Yankee hitters there. They were actually able to get a ball in the air.
Good point.
Well, I mean, Doc just keeps the ball down so well.
So of the 17 retired, we've had 2 pop-ups and 1 line out. Everything else on the ground. That's just nasty. Runs it inside on Pena.
And the movement, too. Now, there was a time, if you were going to compare and contrast, you know, Halladay and Burnett were a lot alike early in their career. When Doc was young.
Nicely played by Overbay on a scorcher. And another 1-2-3. Well, what an effort from Doc tonight. He's been incredible. "25 times per email address. So vote early and vote often for the upcoming Midsummer Classic, July 14th in St. Louis at the brand new stadium there. Not necessarily brand new, but
New enough, I guess.
new enough.
Yeah.
This is Jamie Campbell with Darren Fletcher. He of the 1994 All-Star Game at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh.
And you know it.
Thank you. DH Adam Lind takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, how many Blue Jays you think should be in the All-Star game right now?
Oh, 7,
Oh, you would
8
think.
at this point. And it's National League rules, so Adam Lind would have a tough time being a designated hitter. But his numbers are certainly All-Star worthy at this point.
Absolutely.
Adam has walked twice against Burnett tonight and scored in the 4th inning. after he was sacrificed in by Rod Barajas. The Blue Jays in that fourth made Burnett throw 31 pitches. This is grounded to first base, taken by Teixeira. And Lind is out for the first time.
The two walks, the walk that Vernon Wells was able to draw, and then Adam Lind's walk were big in that inning. And leadoff double by Rios, but those two guys in the middle of the lineup putting pressure on A.J. Burnett to throw strikes, and he looked a little rattled and couldn't find it. And next thing you know, Scotty Rowland doubled down the line.
And what a time to break out of an 0 for 18 against A.J. Burnett.
Yeah, weren't we talking about, well, 0 for 18? A lot of managers would say, you know, I want you to take a break on this one. You don't seem too well. Let the players play.
He has, to this point, the most important hit in the ball game. A double that scored 2 with nobody out in the fourth inning. They'd add one more and lead here 3-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. The 2-0 pitch from Burnett is fouled back and out of play. AJ was receiving text messages from some of his old teammates yesterday because the Yankees, like the Blue Jays, had a day off. They got into town yesterday, and a bunch of the current Blue Jays wanted to take him out for dinner, and he said absolutely not. His quote was, "I don't think so, guys. You're not going to butter me up before a game."
Thinking they were going to get a cherry fastball and a hitter's count.
In the center field, another base hit for Rowland. And it's official, Darren. You can throw career numbers right out the window, because that's 2 hits for Rowland tonight against Burnett.
Oh, Rowland in batting practice this afternoon when I was watching, was really working on staying short to the baseball with Gene Tennis, the hitting coach. And when a guy throws 95 miles an hour, you can't afford to take a long swing. And Scott Rowland has always been known for his powerful, compact stroke.
Here's Lyle Overbay then. Please join us again tomorrow for Game 2. Jays Connected comes your way at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Andy Pettit on the mound for the Yankees. Scott Richmond for the Jays. And we've seen this a lot tonight. Kevin Cash going out to speak with Burnett. I wonder, is that due to lack of familiarity?
Yeah, Kevin Cash just wants to be on the same page. Make sure that that he's comfortable with a certain pitch.
The pitch down low, 1-1.
Typically you see the catcher go out there with a man on second base to kind of go over your set of signs that you want to use to disguise it with the man on second, but decided to go out there with a man on first, maybe talking about the throw overs, the pitch outs. See, there's the fist, which is probably a throw over. No, it's a pitch out. You see Kevin Cash there. The universal sign for a throw over, a pitch out typically is like a fist. So something different is going to happen, and that was, they're thinking Scott Rowland is going to try to take off and put himself in scoring position.
Ground ball, and Cano leaps and throws to second. What a stylish double play that was. You'd think we were at the ballet tonight.
Great play.
And it's an inning ending 4-6-3. Boy, they made that one look pretty. Still 3-0 for the Jays. We're off to the 7th after this. the fastest and most reliable, period. 15 wins against the Yankees for Doc, most among active pitchers. His last 9 here at Rogers Center, he's 7-0. In fact, his last loss to the Yankees in this building was opening day 2003. He's been that good. He's been oh so good tonight against the Yankees. In 6 innings of work, he's allowed 1 base hit. And even at that, Johnny Damon was thrown out trying to get to second base. So he has faced the minimum 18 hitters here, beginning the 7th inning with Brett Gardner.
When I watch Doc pitch, the one word that comes into my mind is carving. You understand what I mean by carving?
I do.
Carving up the hitters
Yep.
with his stuff. The slicing cutter on the inside part of the plate, the sinking heavy sinker that he uses.
I fully expected that kind of terminology from you, Mr. Fletcher, knowing how much you love the buffet table.
Yeah.
Slicing and carving. He's doing that right now. 2-2 on Gardner, and he watches that one sail foul. But that kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier. Nothing ever seems straight coming out of Roy Halladay's arm.
What we were talking about last when Doc was on the mound is that I was going to make the point that early in Doc's career he was a lot like A.J. Burnett. The overhand fastball with nothing but four-seam heat and the big 12-6 breaking ball. And it's been talked about a lot, but when he went down and to the minor leagues and faced some adversity at the big leagues, really remade himself into the pitcher he is today.
Here's the payoff. Bounce to Overbay. Hasn't he been busy? And it's 3 unassisted. 1 away, 7th inning. Since 2003, Roy Halladay is 143.
Phenomenal.
So
I mean, it's just
among
amazing.
active pitchers since 03, he's the only one with more than twice as many victories as losses. But again, none of this surprises you if you watch him every 5 days. And Johnny Damon, little did we know that Damon's hit way back in the 1st inning would be the only one to this point, with 1 out here in the 7th inning. You take away that base hit and Halladay's been perfect.
Well, he's been a good anchor for this staff, and I believe I read in the paper today where there's been 9 different Toronto Blue Jay pitchers make 2 starts or more.
That is true. Funny thing is, though, Darren, with the exception of perhaps Brian Burris, they've all been good starts.
They have been. I mean, if you would say, well, at May 12th, we'd have 9 different pitchers make 2 starts or more, you would probably. Base hit.
There's the game's 2nd hit for the Yankees. And Damon heads for second. He's got a double. And believe it or not, Johnny Damon now has at least 1 extra base hit in each of his last 8 games.
He's been red hot. He's been the American League's best hitter this past week, and really the only guy that Doc hasn't been able to get out. Damon is, even his out was a line drive that Aaron Hill made a nice play that he jumped up and caught.
So here are the Yankees with 1 out, 1 on. Mark Teixeira certainly capable of bringing them to within 2, and he yanks that one foul. Boy, that ball is crushed, but well out of play. And it's funny, we suggested that you throw out the career numbers, Rolen facing Burnett. Well, here's Johnny Damon with the only 2 hits of the night against Roy Halladay, and coming into this game, Damon historically had the best numbers against Halladay, a career .338 hitter in 80 at bats. So that's where the statistics prove you correct. And now Teixeira up there hoping to try and earn some of that $180 million that he's making over the next 8 years. But his numbers have been horrible with runners in scoring position, just 192. Hitting just .083 with runners in scoring position and less than 2 out. That's the situation here. 1-2. Halladay struck him out in the 4th inning. 2 strikes on him now. Off the plate, ball 2. One out in the 7th, and Halladay's pitch count is only at 71.
Well, I don't think Doc's going to play around with him too much on the inside part of the plate. If it's a cutter, Barajas is saying, hey, this is you. What do you want to do? This is your pitch. Might be a backdoor cutter. Yeah.
Got him. Got him. He strikes out to Sheriff for the 2nd time.
Well, he's made this pitch a lot tonight, where it's a little cutter that he brings back over the outside part of the plate. Halladay will use that outside part of the plate not only with his 2-seamer that will sail away from the left-handed hitter, but he'll throw this little cutter that will appear to be on the outside of the plate and come back in and nick the corner.
We don't have to tell you who's up there.
Yeah.
The crowd did a nice job of that.
It's like, and now batting Alex Rodriguez. Boo!
There's a new book out that accuses Rodriguez of tipping off batters, opposing batters in blowout games, hoping to receive favors in return.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
Hey, I'm just saying, you talk about a bad off season.
Yeah,
this guy's had one. And now, whoever caught that foul ball has just thrown it back on the field.
I'll tell you this much about Alex Rodriguez, though, Jamie. That year that he had in 07, where he hit about 50 taters and 150 RBIs, was one of the best seasons I've ever seen a third baseman or anybody have. Just a phenomenal year. And after that year, everything else is a step down.
1-1. Now 2 balls and a strike. 43,737 in the seats tonight. Many have yet to leave for a concession break. It's been far too entertaining of a ball game to turn away from it. And the big reason is that man right there, Roy Halladay, has been lights out. Just 2 hits for the Yankees, both from Johnny Damon. He's at second after a double, 2-1, and a ground ball that gets through, a base hit for Rodriguez. Snyder is up and throwing, and in comes Damon with the Yankees' first run. Make it a 3-1 game, and Damon's knocked in by Alex Rodriguez.
Well, this is what Alex Rodriguez does, is he's able to drive in runs with men on second base. Breaking ball down, he stays on it and shoots it through the hole. Snyder's got a good arm. He comes up gunning. It's just going to be late. But that's what Joe Girardi wants, is he wants this guy to be healthy and in the lineup every day. If the Yankees have got any chance at all in this American League East, they need Alex Rodriguez to be healthy and putting up big numbers.
That's just his 3rd hit since coming back on Friday, and 4th RBI. The other 3 came in that first pitch home run in Baltimore as Nick Swisher, the new DH, takes strike 1. Swisher pinch hit for Hideki Matsui in the 5th and struck out. Matsui's gone with a right hamstring strain. So Swisher, who did not intend to start this game, is now batting against Roy Halladay with Rodriguez at first and 2 away. He's well known to strike out a ton. And here he is behind 0-2. Halladay with 78 pitches, 21 here in the 7th inning. Just trying to get out of this, giving up the lone run. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Ball 1.
Well, there's that sinker away that he runs that sails away from the left-handed batter, and you give up on it. Okay, that's a ball. But then he'll come back with this cutter that looks like the exact same pitch, but will bite back in and nibble the outside corner.
The one that struck out to Teixeira.
Yeah, it's just, the players call it a backdoor cutter.
Rojas sets up inside, and there he goes. A strikeout of Nick Swisher, and that's it for the Yankees. Rodriguez left at first after he drives home their first run. Halladay's keeping the Yankees under control tonight. It's 3-1. Doctor, what a night so far for Roy Halladay. He has really kept the Yankees in check, save for that 1-run, 2-hit 7th. The Blue Jays getting their 3 in the 4th inning. The key hit there, Scott Rowland's double. Halladay's at his best, and his counterpart A.J. Burnett hasn't been that bad.
Not at all.
One tough inning, but beyond that, he's been exceptional as he pitches in the bottom of the 7th here, facing Rod Barajas, who promptly pops this first one into right field. There's Cabrera, and Barajas is gone.
No, not at all. You can't really fault A.J. Burnett. He's been out there, you know, throwing his thing and doing his deal, but that 4th inning got him. Those couple of walks, I think, hurt him, and that double by Rowland that was right down the line. As I was watching that replay too, A-Rod was way off the line. I mean, that ball wasn't hit all that hard, but Alex was cheating him more towards the center of the field.
What do you think Travis Snyder has learned in his first 2 at bats against A.J. Burnett?
A.J. good pitcher.
Good to have you back, Darren. It really is. There's a base hit to left field. Now the kid comes up with a knock here. 1 out in the 7th inning. Nice easy swing.
Yeah, got himself a fastball. Was a little late. I don't know if he was wanting to take it the other way, but Yeah, he just got jammed, but was able to stay on top and shot it the other way. I think Snyder was trying to probably pull this pitch, but was able to flip it out there.
Marcos Scutaro now 0 for 3. And he shoots this one up the middle. Cano takes it, steps on the bag, throws to first, double play, and that's the inning. After 7, it's the Blue Jays 3, the Yankees 1, and you're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Comfort. TD Canada Trust, putting you in the comfort zone.
Three to 1 for the Blue Jays. Top of the 8th inning, forthcoming. This is Jamie Campbell with Darren Fletcher. Thank you for joining us tonight on Rogers Sportsnet. As expected, it's been a dandy. Halliday's Jays lead Burnett's Yankees. Here's Robinson Cano, the second baseman. Melky Cabrera's on deck. He'll be followed by Kevin Cash. Let's wish a happy 80th tonight to Owen Cochran, who's watching in Hansport, Nova Scotia. That's just south of Wolfville on Highway 101. Lots of Blue Jay fans out there. 1-1 pitch, a broken bat floater. Scutaro takes it, and Cano's gone. Well, there's not much to speak of where the in-game box score is concerned, Darren.
Well, Johnny Damon a couple knocks. Alex Rodriguez with that RBI base hit. But Doc has really done his thing. He's getting the ball down, got a lot of ground ball outs.
From Cano on down, they're a collective 0 for 9. And as Halliday gets strike one on Melky Cabrera. Roy tonight hoping to get victory number 7. That would lead the American League. There's a base hit to center field. Zach Greinke fell short in his attempt to win a 7th the other night in Anaheim. Despite a masterful performance, complete game effort against Joe Saunders' Angels. That's the wildest thing about this start for Roy, Darren, is that he's 6-1 coming into this game, a 3.29 ERA. And most people around baseball won't call him the best pitcher in the American League right now.
Well, I think he is.
So do I. Here's Kevin Cash. Strike one.
I'm looking at some of these graphics, and after 7 starts in 08 for Doc, he was 3-4. Similar ERA And, you know, you're always consistent with Doc. But he's just getting the offense this year, too, where they're scoring some runs. His support has been great. Over 9 runs.
He was 3-4 at that time with 3 complete game losses, too.
Right.
In fact, last April, a year ago April, he lost 3 consecutive complete games. Just couldn't get any run support. Here's Rowland. He goes to second for 1. Off to first, double play. Just what the doctor ordered. An easy 8 for Roy, even though he gives up a base hit. And so now the Blue Jays in the bottom of the inning will try and expand their lead on the Yankees. It's Toronto 3 and New York 1. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. A gorgeous night in Toronto, and Darren reflected on this just a few minutes ago. A slow start for Halladay in 08. Nothing but sizzle here in 2009. Just 1 loss, and that came here against the Texas Rangers.
Well, a slow start in the fact that he's only had 3 wins, but I think the stuff was very similar. You're going to get the same thing every day when Doc takes the mound. The big thing on that graphic was the run support. Jays are scoring over 9 runs a ball game when he's pitching. Last year was only 3. Of course, in this ball game right here, they've only got 3 runs, but the way Doc's cruising right now, it might be all he needs.
Aaron Hill facing A.J. Burnett. Halladay in his first 3 home starts here allowed a combined 5 home runs and 13 earned runs. Tonight, just 1 Ernie, as you like to call them, and no long balls from the second best home run hitting team in the American League. Although I'm going to guess the stadium, the new one, has a lot to do with that. Yankee Stadium to this point in the year has yielded 47 home runs. 32 of them to right field. Strike 2 on Aaron Hill. Halladay aside, the man at the plate right now, as you look at Scott Downs, the Jays closer, Aaron Hill might be this team's MVP right now. He's been oh so productive in that number 2 hole, and here's a drive to left field. Back is Damon, and you can kiss that one goodbye. What a ball player.
A.J. Burnett, what you'll get is he'll miss his spots now and again, and he misses with a spot up, and Aaron Hill is all over it. No doubter.
Aaron's team-leading 9th home run extends the lead now to 4-1. And AJ's right at 100 pitches. Two and 0 on Alex Rios. Ball 3. Take a walk, Alex. The Yankee pen is up. Looks like Jose Veras, the right-hander.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think this is the most animated I have seen the Toronto Blue Jays fans ever when I've been in this ballpark. And I played here since 98. And I've been doing a few games and kind of sprinkling in some appearances here and there. But this is the most excited and animated crowd I've ever been around in Toronto.
They announced this crowd at 43,737, but I think they announced it before everybody truly got to their seats, because the upper deck in deep right and left field are full, or so it seems. This is very similar to the environment we saw when Canada played the United States here 2 months ago in the WBC. Ball 1 to Vernon Wells. And now AJ isn't throwing strikes. He gave up the home run to Hill. He walked Rios. Now it's ball 1 on Wells. And the clock is ticking on AJ's outing this night.
Do you think if AJ had a do-over, do you think that he'd like to take back the doffing of the cap mockery that he did?
Oh, I don't think without a question.
I think that's why the crowd is raining down the boos, is that they remember that.
It wasn't the right thing to do. And if you're confused as to what we're talking about, back in June of last year, AJ got lit up against the Baltimore Orioles. I think he went about 3 2/3. The crowd booed him on his way off the mound. And there's ball 2. And he tipped his hat to a disgruntled crowd and drew a ton of criticism in the wake of that incident for obvious reasons. You know, oddly enough, he really locked in for the rest of the year.
He did. He came out and apologized.
I don't know if he actually publicly apologized.
Or he said that it wasn't the right thing to do.
There's the 2-0. And this flies to right field for Cabrera. And now Rios will have to hustle back to first. He really struggled at the outset last year in his first 16 games, going 6-7. And here is the situation. Let's take you back. This is a start here at Rogers Center in June against the Baltimore Orioles.
He's gotten lit up.
Rained down, and he did this. And it was simply uncalled for. Took some heat and then got back to work. Over his final 19 starts with the Jays last year, he went 12-3 with an ERA just above 3. And won 8 of his last 9 decisions. But he's playing for the other guys now.
Well, in my opinion, forget about the, sellout, going to the Yankees, whatever, the money, that's always going to happen in Major League Baseball. But that little move there has ignited the fans in this ballpark. And Toronto Blue Jay sports fans are very savvy. This town is inundated with sports information all the time, and that clip was played over and over again, and everybody remembers that. And he was mocking the crowd, and
there goes
they're
Alex.
not forgiving him.
No tag at second. They can't make the play there. They get Lind at first, though, but Rios was off, so he slides in safely to second.
Well, if Rios going, he's not able to get the force out, so he's going to have to go to first base. Puts another runner in scoring position for Scott Rowland. Scotty Rowland with those 2 knocks. Started the night out, like you said, Jamie, 0 for 18, but now he's 2 for 20.
Rolling up again with 2 out. Fouls off that one. You would love to think, Darren, that a game like this one, with this kind of crowd, this kind of buzz, is the one that makes baseball really relevant again in this city. Because the Blue Jays, since winning that World Series in '93, have seen drop-offs in attendance, to a degree drop-offs in interest. But they are right now the best team in the American League. And here's A.J. Burnett, who had a very good year last year, winning 18 games, but decided, I'm going to take the $80 million from the Yankees, and probably in the back of his mind thought they have a better chance to win than the Jays do. And yet he's in a losing situation right now, down by 3 against a better team. Ground ball up the middle. It's Mike Cash Rios. Alex comes around. Make it 5 runs now. A 5-1 lead, Toronto. And that's the knockout punch. Well, you flew into Calgary to boo A.J. Burnett. You got your chance. He lasted 7 2/3. Well, that's hardly flattering. And they do trust in Cito, and rightly so. A packed house at Rogers Center, and they have witnessed a dandy here tonight. The Jays knock out A.J. Burnett after 7 2/3. They gave up 5 runs to this point on 7 hits. Scott Rowland at first is his responsibility, as right-hander Jose Veras comes in relief. Veras is a big man, 6'5", 236. Age 28, from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He gets a swing from Overbay. This half of the 8th was led off by Aaron Hill, and his 9th home run of the year, a solo shot, made it 4-1. Rios then walked. He moved up to second on a ground out by Lind, and Scott Rowland brought him home. Rowland has 3 RBIs in the ball game. And isn't that sweet revenge against A.J. Burnett? We talked about it earlier. Rowland came into this game with horrific numbers in his career against A.J. So far tonight, though, 3 hits, 3 runs driven in. 2-1 on Overbay. Now 3-1. For the most part, this Yankee bullpen has been terrible in the early going. Those around the team give passing grades to Phil Koch and to Mariano Rivera. Everybody else has been suspect, or so it seems. Runner goes, and it's fouled away by Overbay.
Well, they're missing Bruni. They're missing a couple setup guys to be able to get to Mariano Rivera. Phil Koch has filled in all right. He's been a guy that Joe Girardi's been able to go to and rely on in that 7th, 8th inning type guy. But everybody else, he's been having to mix and match and really go with the hot hand.
Three and 2. Here's the payoff, and that's taken foul as well.
Well, this is a statement game, and if it ends up like it is, here's the statement. Roy Halladay's the best pitcher in the game. Aaron Hill's the best hitter in the game. Cito Gaston's the best manager in the game. You know why?
I like it.
Because he stuck with look what happened in this ball game. He sticks with Scotty Rowland, a guy that you would think that you'd pull out of the lineup. Doc does his thing, Mr. Consistency, you know, faced with this big crowd and going against a former mate who's able to lock in, focus in, and not lose control of this ball game. And Aaron Hill is just not missing any pitches right now. Fastball up at 90, he's able to get on top and hit his 9th home run.
This one popped up, heading for the seats, and out of play.
Is that being too dramatic for you? Are you with me on that?
Well, in fact, can I add one?
Yeah.
The Blue Jays are the best team in the game, because a win here tonight would push their win total to 23, and nobody else in baseball can make that claim, because right now the Dodgers are in Philadelphia and losing. They try again on Overbay. Base hit up the middle. Rowland was on the move, and he stops at third. A single for Overbay. Runners on the corners here.
Well, Scotty Rowland moving on the pitch, able to go to first and third very easily. And the Blue Jays are really one base hit away from letting this game get out of hand. Pretty good pitch ball game, but if they're able to push across the 6th run.
Barajas fouls it away. Boy, Rod's really replaced Matt Stairs as the one guy who never gets cheated.
Well, he takes a cut. Talking to him before the game, I asked him, well, What was your best year? As I didn't really look through his stats. He had 21 home runs one year for Texas. He's got some pop. Like I said once before, I don't know if he'll hit 300, but he's going to have some production. Double-figure home runs, hopefully over 50 RBIs. And a healthy cut.
The 1-1. And Kevin Cash right at the fence makes the catch. Looked like that one was headed out of play. But that one ends the 8th inning. An inning in which the Blue Jays scored twice, including a home run by Aaron Hill, and they send Burnett packing. 5-1 Toronto.
Of course, giving up that home run to Aaron Hill in the 8th really sealed his night. But it's the Blue Jay guy that has really prevailed in this matchup of teacher versus mentor. The old workhorse, Roy Halladay, has been just plodding along, making his pitches.
And right now enters the 9th inning, staring at the possibility of his first complete game of the year. He gets a strike on the number 9 hitter, Ramiro Pena. Brett Gardner on deck. Johnny Damon in the hole for the Yankees, down 5-1 in the top of the 9th. Doc's pitch count an efficient 90 with the next one. And there's a rip to right field, and Pena, the number 9 hitter, is on as he heads for second base. A leadoff double.
That's a cutter in, and he doesn't get in. One of the few mistakes that Doc's made all night. Pena looking in, steps in the bucket, and hits a double down the line. Tell you what, this, Jamie, the Yankees are going to have to score 3 more runs before they, or 4 before Doc's coming out of this ball game.
Yes, we saw Scott Downs up and warming earlier, and the first thing that went through my mind was, there's no way they're taking Doc out of this.
I don't think so. I mean, if he gives up 2, maybe 2, 3 definitely, but he's going to have to give up a few runs before he's out of here. He's going to, Cito's going to go with him.
Here's the leadoff man, Gardner, 1-1. Brett tonight is 0 for 3. He has grounded out on 3 occasions. Halladay's nemesis is on deck in Johnny Damon, who is 2 for 4. Correction, 2 for 3. Well, get used to these kind of matchups. The Blue Jays play 54 of their remaining 128 games against their top 3 divisional rivals. As the ball is popped up behind second base, out goes Scudero, and in comes Wells. He made it look awkward, but he gets the job done. 1 out. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Here's Damon. A single and a double in 3 trips. 1 gone in the 9th inning. Man at second for the Yankees. 5-1 is the lead. Toronto. And a strike. Halladay has put on a masterful performance so far. Here's the 1-1 to Damon. A swing and a miss. Roy made it very clear this spring that he has no interest in being a mentor to the young pitchers on this staff. He says it's just too distracting. I can't focus on my job. No need to mentor. They just have to watch to learn here. Golf to right, and that ball is foul.
But look, there's plenty of guys in the game that want to offer words of advice and put your arm around you and say, hey, youngster, this is how you're going to do it. But in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of players, is actions speak louder than words, and Doc is an all-action guy. Just watch me, and I'll show you the way.
Damon's looking skyward as if to say that was close.
Little down, Barajas peeking at him, making sure Damon's not looking back. I think he's going to go to this little backdoor cutter. There it is.
Ground ball, and Scudero eats it up. Damon's gone, 2 out.
Well, it's lived up to its billing.
Yes, it has. After the game, Sportsnet Connected, Sean McCormick and Martin Guard are standing by. Lots of reaction from the locker rooms here. You'll see it then. Right now, we're zeroed in on Roy Halladay. 1 out away from his first complete game of the year. And look at him. Did you see that reaction? Thought he should have had a strike there. Classic Halladay.
He missed it. Oh, he's game face to the very end. He's not going to crack a smile until this last out is recorded.
There's a strike. Teixeira swings over top of that cutter in.
Well, I'm just glad he pitched a good ball game so I can talk to him tomorrow.
1-1. And now 1 strike away. To first, Overbay has it, and witness the master wielding his magic tonight against the Yankees. Roy Halladay, a complete game victory. Hey Darren, there's that smile.
There it is.
It took him 9 innings.
Yep. That last out was recorded. Now he's relaxed. Look at how that you can just see the tension off of his face, where he's just, I did it. I did my deal. Made my pitches. He's just a workman out there. Such a professional. when it comes to your craft of pitching. Big hits tonight by Scott Rowland.
Not that it means much to Doug, but Halladay versus Burnett tonight, one locks